We're in the lodge, also the testing ground for the big house. I've already done sanding and filling with this product here, No Nonsense Fine Surface Filler. That was when it was bare plaster, and then I've done a mist coat with my sprayer, and I've done one top coat of the emulsion. I'm not particularly happy where I filled it because it's got some raised edges. Now, I almost would have preferred to have just left the little dings in the wall. I've sprayed this and it is really smooth at the moment, and I was hoping once I rolled it that any bits like would just blend out, but there's a bit here where you probably can't see and it's doing my nutting. I just can't leave it. So I'm going to sand it back and see if I can get rid of it. It was my first time spraying, so this plastic stuff was covered around these Veluxes. Paint from here and from here actually run down, and I've got some runs down here. So I've scraped it off, and now that's a little bit lower than the paint, so I'm going to try and fill that in flat. Now I've gone for this stuff because it's got good reviews, and it says it will not shrink or slump. That other fine surface stuff, it did shrink a little bit. It says that excellent adhesion and easy to sand. We will find out. No need to spot prime, which should be good, and it will not flash or grin. The No Nonsense stuff did flash. I'll put in a picture of it here. That's where it was flashing. It when I write okay in the ends, you can't really see like it through the actual paint, but it's just a little bit raised and I'm not happy with it. Most of the filling was done on here, down on that wall, and that's so low it's going to be quite, I don't know, out of the light, so to speak, and there's going to be furniture up against this wall anyway, so I'm happy to leave that. I'll fill in the bottom of the Veluxes, and I also need to do a little bit around the light just up here. A mistake was made with the wiring in the junction box, so I had to cut it out and pull it down, and I could have got a bigger light, but I want to patch that in, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that, and I'm going to use the filler and we'll see if it's any good. If you haven't seen the last video of me spraying, my link's just up here. There was Jay commented, he said for this kind of stuff, doing the dings out of plaster, you're best off getting a pre-mixed skimming plaster, like finishing plaster, and just patching it in, because the hardness of the actual filler is always going to be different to your plaster, and it's just a pain in the arse. So now we're going to try and obviously use this stuff. We'll see how it goes, see how it sands down. First things first, I'm going to get rid of that bloody bump. And I would have done this earlier, but I done my back in. I went and collected some furniture for in here, and then I was getting ready to come up here and do this, and then I tweaked my back. So I've rested for a few hours. It's almost 12 o'clock at night now. And I've put a strap around the back now. I was just going straight in with an orbital sander. I done it by hand last time. This is a 120 grit. And as soon as I've done this, I just want to get the filling done, and then I can sand it in the morning, and then I can finish rolling this out tomorrow. That's gone down. Where's the other one? I might as well just do them all, eh? I might have got away with that other filler if I would have sanded it properly. I reckon this is probably how you need to leave it. What I done before, can you see this little bit down here? So it was raised, that whole section, and I thought it would like feather out okay, but it didn't. Once the dust settles, I'll get a mist coat on them little bits, and then I'm good for painting tomorrow. Before I mix up any filler, I might as well just sort this light out first. I'm going to use this as a batten, so I'll poke it up, I'll cut it in half, and then I'm going to screw a couple of screws either side, and then I've got something in the middle to fix too. Next day, let's see how the sanding goes. We give 240 grit a go with a sanding pad. This is really quite smooth, so it won't need much, I don't think. It looks nicer than the other stuff. Yeah, I mean that sounds so much easier than the no nonsense fine finish stuff. I like that. And then on this corner I've done a bit more of an edge. So we'll see how that goes down. That seems perfect. I mean, it sanded down really well. On the fine filler, it kind of left like a bit of a lip. It was more defined. It sands really bloody well. Okay, this one needs a little bit more filling. I haven't done quite a good enough job. If I would have known it sounded this well, I probably would have done it thicker. Them edges really do look like they feather out well though. I can definitely see the benefits of mixing your own powder. I'm sure I used the powder before at the old house. That would have been the no nonsense, I'd say. Love a bit of no nonsense. Right, let's get a little bit of paint on this one, just to see if we can see if it flashes at all. I don't think it will, it just doesn't, it hasn't got the same kind of texture. If you can imagine like the other stuff, it just seems hard, whereas this just feels like the pores are open a little bit more. Probably not the fairest test because I did spray last time, whereas this is obviously the roller. The paint doesn't seem to be flashing at all, so I can't catch any light off of it. I think maybe because they're only tiny bits, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in here again, and then I will paint that maybe tomorrow, and then we'll do a quick look at it and a final conclusion. I will say it's looking good so far. I think this is going to be my go-to filler from now on in. I filled around the light for the second time, and then I've done some painting and I went and collected some furniture, so it's been long enough. Apparently you can repaint it after 3 hours. I'm not sure about how soon you can sand it. I would assume it's a similar kind of time, but I've done that now. Now we're going to paint it. I've already got some watered down Cover Plus as well, so we're just going to whack it on and then see how it turns out, whether there's any shining, what's it called? Grinning or flashing. That's the one, flashing. Right, so there's a nice chunk there of actual filler. So we should be able to see whether there's any issues or not. Ta-da! That feathered out well, and when it was drying it didn't flash or anything. So we're all good, all good. Touche, Toupret, Mange 2, Mange 2. That's the TX110. Brilliant stuff, I love it. I've got a whole box full now. I'm looking forward to trying out their other fillers because that is proper. Anyway, I'm going to leave this one here. If you haven't already, smash the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.